To our first question that we have from the floor. And this, Mr. Kearney, I apologize for mispronouncing.
You had it.
Mr. Kearney. Regarding the proposed construction of a wastewater treatment plant to service the South Hingham industrial area, do you believe adequate and convincing cost-benefit analysis has been performed to warrant moving forward with the 2 town meeting articles advancing this project?
Yes, that project has been on the table. I think the South Shore Chamber of Commerce first got involved with that in 2005 or so, and it's been fully vetted, and it was put to the LWVH for them to sort of agree or not agree with them coming through Weymouth to tie into to that water district, and it wasn't financially feasible, and it didn't really benefit Hingham that much. So the on-site waste treatment plant is the best option for Hingham. It's the best way to control growth in South Hingham, and it's sort of a win-win.
Thank you. Mr. Tondorf-Dick?
Yes, thank you. I think it's a great question. I think that the town boards, especially the selectmen and the advisory committee, have done some incredible, and the wastewater study committee, which I was a representative on, representing the planning board, has done a really good job vetting the constraints inherent in the industrial park. And our biggest problem in the industrial park is limited infrastructure in terms of wastewater. We can't develop the industrial park to the level of efficiency and return without addressing that infrastructure situation. The benefit of doing that in the industrial park is twofold. One is that it is an improvement in an area that will yield an incredible revenue stream to the town, which will help us balance the budget, but also take some of the pressure off of the residential valuations and the tax assessments. And so I think that this has been in the works for a number of years, and I think that the detail has been incredible in terms of people who've looked at the build-out, in terms of the floor area ratio that could be achieved because of this, what kind of square footage could be achieved, what thereby that square footage means in terms of revenue return, but also what it means in terms of infrastructure investment to build this treatment facility. And I think it's going to be correct.
Our next question, we will start with Mr. Tondorf-Dick. What do you think the most important role of the planning board is today?
I think the most important role is to essentially review the master plan and to articulate planning initiatives, which essentially are warrant articles, but articulate these issues to address a number of the problems that we've had relative to the applicability of certain areas in the bylaw on current applications that come in front of the board. It's essentially, that's our legislative role. We prepare these planning articles for review by the town and for implementation on a regulatory basis through our subdivision control law, but also in a regulatory basis through the zoning board of appeals.
Thank you. Mr. Kearney?
Could you just repeat the
Sure
question?
can. What do you think the most important role of the planning board is today?
I agree with Gary. The master planning role in controlling growth, I think, in Hingham. Hingham is poised now, I feel, as though it's just going to break loose with growth. I know we've gone through a lot of growth to get to this point, but it's very attractive, and that's why we are so passionate about it. But it's key that this growth is maintained in a proper way, so we can reap tax benefits of certain growth in certain areas, but also maintain the charm and the character that Hingham affords, and it's just creating that balance that works so well and has worked so well for years.
Thank you. We will now move on to your closing statements. Again, you have 1 minute each. Mr. Kearney.
Thank you all again for your time this evening. If you can't tell them, this is my first sort of foray into the political arena. I'm a little nervous and sketchy up here, but I'm an alternate on the zoning board now. I'm on various committee, not committees, but, here we go, boards. And what I'd like to bring to the equation, this 30 seconds, is I like working with people. I may not be good at speaking to them, but I like working with them. And, I'm creative. I've been tuned into the town for years. I've been doing the cartoon for the Hingham Journal for 15 years. And that gives me a unique perspective on what happens in town. And I appreciate the feedback I get from the various people who communicate ideas with me. And I just want to do this for what's best for the town, and I really appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Mr. Tondorf?
Yes, thank you. I think one of the most important reasons to run for office in Hingham is to be able to give something back to the town, because we've all been very blessed with the environment that we have here and what it's been able to help us do in terms of living our lives, but also how it's helped us raise our kids and have them become the kind of adults that they can be. And I think through maintaining and managing positively change in the town, because change is the byword, doing it in such a way that we can balance the preservation of all of the architectural and historical resources that we hold dear. We can also manage the future growth so that it's done in an appropriate way and it's not in conflict with other land use entities that are currently in place. So again, a balance. And then thirdly, I think we need to look, in our role on the planning board, we need to assist relative to looking at the appropriate balance of land uses and also update our bylaws with initiatives that essentially will bring them more in tune with current land use patterns. And I think that we're doing that in such a way where we're maintaining, it's very important in the town to maintain the integrity of the residential areas and not expand commercial uses into the residential areas. But on the other hand,
Thank you. Sorry. Hate to cut off, but we'd like to be fair to all of our candidates here. And we want to thank you very much. We appreciate you coming tonight.